Okay, so we have a very important sugya over here. We started last week introducing the Mishnah of Psulei Edus, and we pointed out from the Rishonim that there seem to be missing categories in this Mishnah. So the overwhelming majority of the Rishonim assumed that the Mishnah is only enumerating the Psulim D'Rabbanan, but there are for sure basic categories that are missing from our Mishnah. So one of the categories that were enumerated was Mesacheh B'Kuvya, was one who gambles. So the Gemara says Mesacheh B'Kuvya, the beginning of the Gemara. Maika Ovid. The Gemara says, what is the problem with Mesacheh B'Kuvya? What's he doing already that it seems to be very innocent, that a person who's gambling, so what's he doing wrong? Amar Rami Bar Chama. So Rami Bar Chama says, Mishum dahava asmachta ve'asmachta lo kanya. So what does that mean? What is the definition of asmachta, and what is the ramifications of that asmachta not being kanya, and what is the Gemara referring to? So look at Rashi. Asmachta hainu davar de'enu nosin lo midaito ela somech al davar she'eno desavar shu yachol l'natzeach upamim shen menatzchen oso. Says Rami Bar Chama, any person who's gambling, by definition, is only getting involved because he is hoping that he's going to win, and he's banking on that, and that's the reason he's interested in this game and in this in whatever he's involved with, and because he's being saimech, that's the lashon of asmachta. Because he's being saimech on that, so therefore he never really relinquishes ownership on his money. And Rashi says, like the Gemara, like Kanya v'havalei ke'ein gzeila biyado. What does it mean, ke'ein gzeila biyado? If there's no smichas das, so shouldn't that be mamish gezel? Why are we saying it's ke'ein gzeila? So this could be connected to Rashi earlier in the Masechta. It could be that classic gzeila, like Rashi, the first Rashi Masechta Sanhedrin. Rashi writes, what is gzelis that you need 3 dayanim mumchin? The second Rashi in the Masechta. Koifer b'bikadan de mishashalach b'yad havi gzela, havi gazlan. V'chein achoytef miyad chaviru havi gazlan. Kegoin vayigzol as hachones miyad ha-mitzri. Avalov of loy shilim loy mikri glazan de milvelo tzanida. Rashi's telling you that when a person is koifer b'bikadan, why that has a maisik zela, that's for another time. But Rashi says, what's the classic gzela? A loiva, a borrower that denies to pay, that's not gzela. That's some other isser, but it's not classic gzela. Gzela is like the pasuk says in Shmuel Beis, vayigzol es hachonis miyad ha-mitzri. He grabs something out of someone else's domain. That's classic gzela. If that's the case, so it could be, technically. Over here, there's no smichas das. The person doesn't have the right state of mind to relinquish his money. He was being saimach on something else. But you're going to call that gezel mamish? That's not gezel mamish. Therefore, Rashi is saying that that's ke'ein gzela. So that could be one of the reasons why this is only going to be pasal midrabanan. It's not going to be pasal midaraisa, because in order to get the real gzela, you have to be really to be pasal deraisa, you would need the classic gzela that I actually come into your house and take your things. Taisus has another reason why you're pasal. Yeah. So it'll be both. Whoever's the winner is gonna gazlan from the loser. Meaning you lost, but you never wanted to give up your money, so now I stole from you.
I would have thought there'd be a better case to make the gazela is actually on whoever's administrating the bet, because the odds of the person that's making the bet of winning is so low that really it could be on that if you win, okay, so
Meaning whoever's deciding the rules, right. But ultimately, in terms of the money, it's going to be the taker is the. I mean, if you have horrible, it could be the psak will be like this. If you have horrible luck and you always lose, so it could be you won't be over gzela. So it's like this. It's for
what?
What's
the person risking here?
Money.
Simply money.
Money.
And they don't put the money in before they roll the dice.
So first of all, we have to know why should that matter at all. right now within the Gemara of Asmachta, doesn't matter where you put the money. You don't have das to relinquish the money. So
You put it down before you.
there's no das. There's no. I could flip my coins as much as I want. I could put it into a pushka, but if that's my money, it's my money. Whether or not that putting money on the table might play into once you resolve the das issue. But right now, just in the basics, with a smachta, it's not going to help to put on the table at all, because I never was going to relinquish it. If you're not going to relinquish it, so that's like you going into my wallet and taking my money. Fine. So that's Rami Bar Chama. So Rami Bar Chama is pretty simple. So, okay, it's not Gezel Mamish. And Taisus, if you remember from last week, Taisus had a svara, fascinating svara we quoted last week. Taisus says, even though it might be Gezel Deoraisa, Taisus says, right? Because Taisus asks, if you look back in the Tosos, Elu Hin Apsulin, Taisus says, 8 lines down. Taisus says, Afilu man domer asmachtihi, da asmachta lokanya. Taisus says, it's still only possible to Rabbanan. Why? Mikol magam eina deoraisa, kevin she'eno sover lasos iser lavali de possible deoraisa. Because again, Taisus says, Psule Yidus is totally on the way people perceive these Isurim. Doesn't look like classic Isurim deoraisa, so that's not going to invalidate a person on a level of deoraisa. Fine. But according to Rami Bar Chama, things are much simpler, because at least it's in the category of Gezel, and there's something fundamentally missing. Okay, we have to explain why at the end of the day you're only Pasum D'Rabbanan, but why it's Pasal Eidus Bechlal, we understand, because this is in the category of Gezel, Asmachta Lo Kanya.
Is it any type?
Oh, excellent. We got it. We have a lot to clarify. That's this whole long thesis that we have over here. We'll be discussing all of these things. And personally, I think that there's a lot of halacha l'maisa, so we have to go into every single category. Good. Rav Sheshis Amar, I can't promise you we're going to be done today, because there's a lot to talk about. Rav Sheshis Amar, says the Gemara, Kol ki agavna lava smachti. No. Says Rav Sheshis, this is not, you misused the term. This is not a good example of a smachta. So why you pasal eidus according to Rav Sheshis? El lefisha ein is sukin b'yeshuva shalaylam. Rather, you can't be kosher eidus. Why? Because you're not involved. You don't have a normal job. You don't understand Dine Mominis. You don't understand. Some of the Rishonim write a very sympathetic language. You don't understand how difficult it is to make a parnasa. You're sitting there gambling away. You don't understand what it means to lose, to win. You're gonna get involved in Dine Torah that are affecting Dine Mominis of people. You don't have sense, or some of the Rishonim, you don't have sensitivities. You're faking. You're lying constantly to the other guy. You're all about poker faces. You're gonna give you nemonos to be made. So therefore, Zakt Rav Sheshis, that's why you're puzzled. Oh, I guarantee you what you're about to ask is the Gemara's next line. Excellent. My beinayu. So what's the nafkamina? Tell me if I'm right in a second. I'll gamble on this. Ika beinayu, the Gomar umnusa achrisi. So what's the nafkamina? If he has another job. Meaning if he goes, yeah?
No, I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
Gezel,
No, it's not at all Gezel. No, it's not at all Gezel. No, yeah.
I was about to ask what happens if it does it at night.
Oh, exactly. So if he has another job, so the Gemara says, according to Rav Sheshis, he is Yisukah b'Yeshuv Shalom. He just likes playing Wednesday night poker. And that's what he does. So then you're not Pasal Eidus. It's Thursday. Okay. So you can tell all of them that they're still Kosher Eidus according to Rav Sheshis. Fine. So Amar Rav Yehuda Amos Mai Bezman Shein. Right. So what does the Gemara say? So then the Gemara says Amar Rav Yehuda Amos Mai Bezman Shein Lana Mesulahu Aviyesh Lana Mesulahu Ksheir. Fine. So we'll get back to that. The continuation of the Gemara. That's Lamaisa. Bottom line. The Machlokes Amoraim had to understand why the Psule Eidus are Mesach B'Kuvi is Pasal Eidus Midrabanan in our Mishnah. Is it because you don't have another job, which obviously would only be in a situation where you don't have another job? But if it's a situation where a guy's just plays once in a while, then he's going to be kosher le'edis. And according to Rabbi Bar Chama, it's not because of that, but rather it's because it sniffs and schmecks a little bit of gezel, and that's why you're going to be puzzle, and it's much more it's much simpler.
But he's giving by giving this reason,
Okay.
You could apply that to anybody, not even somebody who's
That's true.
gambling.
That's true.
So now you've enlarged.
That's true.
A criteria.
That's true.
A lot of people.
Right. So I agree with you. It's an excellent point. So really, we would really have to really focus on what the Rishonim hold a person that's not Isuka b'Yeshuv Shalom. What's he lacking in? If it's because he's playing poker and he's trying to trick other people and he's more of a chakran. Okay, so that's not necessarily going to apply to everyone. But if you're saying like you're saying is just he just doesn't understand, the law of the land. He doesn't understand the way the real world works. If that's going to be a person, so it could be a guy, who's learning all day. You know what I'm saying? Who's involved in things. If that's what he's missing, so he's going to be puzzled. It would depend on that. On those, exactly. It would depend on that. So we have to really analyze that maybe in the future shir on how expansive could this any Isuk of Yeshu Shalom? Is it because of a negativity of specifically Mesach B'Kuvya, or could it be more expansive? Excellent point. Fine. So let's get back to what Adi asks about what the definition of asmachta is. But we're going to do that through this next Rashi. So again, Rav Shesh's response to Rami Bar Chama that you misapplied the term asmachta. This is not a good term of asmachta. It's not a good example of asmachta. Why? Says Rashi, V'hechi dami asmachta. What is an example of asmachta? Kegon dim over v'lo evid ashalim b'mitva. Rashi's quoting Gemara B'Metziah and Daf Ayin Vav Amud Aleph. A guy hires a worker to plow the land. I hire a contract. Do me a favor. Take care of my crops. I'm going away. I want you to make sure that you're going to take care of the crops. So how do I know that you're going to mean business and you're going to actually take responsibility? So the guy says him over v'lo evid. Over is the years that there's no charisha done, that I just let it lay fallow and it's not going to be plowed. So that's and I'm not going to work. V'lo evid eshalim b'mitva. I'm going to pay you top dollar. Meitav. That's the payment of the top crop. Ukagomash the star to get pasha the seimech al davar al lo davar the salver kol ze ba lidei biyadi lasos. So Rashi says we'll clarify in a second what Rashi says because this might be even a mistake in the language of Rashi. Rashi says what's the definition of asmachta? The salver kol ze biyadi lasos. This guy, you're about to catch a flight in an hour. You gave me a big job. I said, yeah, I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. And if I don't take care of it, I'm going to pay you a lot of money. So what am I thinking when I was mechayev myself to that amount of money? I was saying, I have a truck. I have the manpower. I have a company. I know what I'm going to take care of. So I wanted to pacify the guy and make him be able to have a good vacation or be able to have a good trip. So I said, don't worry. And there's a penalty if I don't take care of it. But since it was totally in my control, I was never serious about that penalty. I was never serious about that obligating factor or that monetary obligation. So therefore, that's a smachta, that's lo kanya. And in the beginning, when I got involved, I never had an havamina to actually give you the money. I thought this would never come to be a reality. But when you're gambling, Rav Shesha says, the haloyada here, it's not, I don't have a company. I don't know what's going to be the outcome. I know that there are odds that are very much against me. If there are odds that are very much against me, so then originally I had das, that I might actually lose, and probably statistics are against me. So therefore I have real das. So therefore Rav Shesha says that's a bad example of a smachta. This is not example. Therefore, he has gmiras das. He's willing to relinquish his money, and that is not considered a smachta. So now we're going to jump to this Tosfos, where he quotes the Rashi that we just read.
Isn't that the smachta they're talking about the person gambling, but not the other person potentially losing?
Well, no. The whole issue is the guy who's potentially losing, did he have Gemiras Das to relinquish his money?
But the comparison
Which ultimately would be the winner would now be stealing his money. So there, originally when I decided to play the game, Rashi's saying, I never knew, this was never in my control. So if it's never in my control, so I knew that there was a good chance that I was going to lose this money. So that's not a smachta according to Rav Sheshis.
That's why I asked my question before, because anyone that's putting money into a pot, so to speak,
Right. That's
So
right.
only the
So
person
that's
that's
exactly what Rav Sheshes is saying.
making
So that's exactly what, right. So that's exactly what Rav Sheshes is saying. Because it's not a situation where it's under my control. Again, Rashi, according to Rav Sheshes, the pivotal issue is control or not control. In a situation where it's totally under my control, so I was joking. But over here, no, I totally don't know what's going to happen. So therefore, it would be not a smachta and potentially be okay according to Rav Sheshes. So let's see. So Taisa starts off quoting Rashi, Perish HaKunchis, right? So let's skip because we just read all these lines in Rashi. Umihu, in the first wide line, middle of the wide lines, Taisa says, first of all, Rashi made a mistake. Because if you look at that Gemara by talking about the job that a person says he's going to take care of the land, and if he doesn't take care of the land, he's going to have to pay, the Gemara has two languages of what the guy says. Dim over v'leo evid eshalem b'mitzvah asmachtihi tos sofrim. That's a mistake. Ubezelo diber Rashi. Dahoim over eshalem b'mitzvah lav asmachta. If I say, I'll pay you the best crop of that land, so then the Gemara says that that's not a smachta. What is a smachta? Listen to what it says. Keda amar b'perak ezu neshech Elohainu im over v'lo eved eshalem alfa zuze. Now, right, this is where you have the example. A guy says, oh, if I don't do it, I'm going to pay you $1,000, right? Or I'll pay you $100,000. I'll pay you $1 million. You start saying things that are extreme. You start saying guzmas. So obviously a person was not relying on that. That's the situation which is a smachta. But if a person would say, I'll pay you back the crops, no, it could be over there. That wouldn't be a smachta. So that was just a mistake in the way Rashi quoted the Gemara. Fine. But fundamentally, what's Rashi's Shita? Rashi's Shita is the more biyado it is, the more asmachta it is, the more less biyado it is, like gambling, the less asmachta it is. Good. Skip to the last wide line. Ava Rabbeinu Tam Hiksha. Perish HaKuntris. Rabbeinu Tam challenges the whole fundamental setup of Rashi. Mishum de lefi perishu mashba de tvei choshev asmachta shahayo biyado milav biyado. According to Rashi, if something's more in your control, that's more asmachta. Because then I was joking. I knew what I would be able to take care of. I never had das. But if it's less biyado, so then, like Eitan was saying, then I originally went into it knowing that I might lose. Ubeperik ezu neshech, the problem is the Gemara Matzia and ezu neshech mashma ibcha da amar hasam hai man de mekabel zuzi mechavre lemizben lechamre upasha v'loy zavin mishalem kida azal aparvarsa de zolshafot v'kamar hasam da smachtehi. I ask a guy, do me a favor, go to a place called Afarvasa de Zolshafot. That's, let's say, the Fairlawn Avenue, of where the market is, okay? It's a place where they sell wine. And buy me, when the market price is such and such, buy me this amount of wine. And the Gemara says, what happened? He was Pesheya, and he didn't buy the wine that he needed to. So the Gemara says, when he accepted the job, it's a smachta, right? So the Gemara says, Ad the Maksha Shas, Gemara asks, why is that a smachta? My shnami oiver v'loy eved eshalem b'mitva, and if it's shalem b'mitva, that meitav is not going to be a smachta. So listen to what the Gemara says. Umeshani hasam gabeim oiver v'loy eved eshalem b'mitva mishum dahava biyado lo havi a smachta. Since when a guy says, I'm going to plow your land, and if I don't plow your land, I'll pay you the best crops that I should have made over here, that the Gemara says is not a smachta, right? So what did Rabbeinu Tam just introduce? Rabbeinu Tam just introduced a beferish Gemara and B'Metzia that took two examples, a situation where I asked you to what? To plow the field. And if you don't, you'll pay the best crops. The Gemara says that that's not a smachta. And a situation where I asked you to buy the wine in the market, and the Gemara says over there it is a smachta. And the Gemara asks, what's the difference? So the Gemara says, if it's biyado, then what? Then it's not a smachta. So Rabbeinu Tam says that's exactly the opposite of the way Rashi explained our Gemara. The more biyado it is, the less asmachta it is. And Rashi says the whole reason gambling is not asmachta is because it's not biyado, and the more biyado is, the more asmachta it is. So you have a Gemara in Bamitzia that challenges Rashi's opinion. So therefore Rabbeinu Tam says Rashi's absolutely wrong, the opposite of Rashi. He says in a situation where something is totally in your control, like plowing, that would be what? Not a smachta at all. A situation where something is not in your control, that's something which I never had miras das. That's a smachta based on the Gemara Mametzia. So what does Rabbeinu Tam have to explain? Rabbeinu Tam is left to explain our Gemara. Why is it that Rav Sheshes said gambling is not a smachta if Rashi's explanation now just went down the tubes, because that's not going to be a good reason, the fact that it's lav biyado. So says Rabbeinu Tam, al kain nirul Rabbeinu Tam, it's 8 lines down. Al kain nirul Rabbeinu Tam lefarish, hachi kol ki agavna lav asmachta. Our Gemara is the lo havi asmachta elahecha she'ein yochel larviach. Kagon mash l'shtara to get posh. Aval hacha lo havi asmachta. Why? Mishum dekevin deshnayim him kol echad ve'echad makna l'chavero migo di'i marvech behu ihu lemikne ba'hi ano gomeru makne l'chavre. Lefi zeh kol shiduchen lo havi asmachta. Mishum dechol chad boi lemakne gomer nami umakne. Says Rabbeinu Tam, no, there's a different story over here. All the cases of the Gemara that were jobs. There were jobs. Over here, no, there's real potential benefit over here. There's a real hana over here. And because there's a real tremendous gain, a possible gain that's going on over here, says Rabbeinu Tam, we ignore the regular rules and regulations of when it's lav biyado, that it's a smachta. Over here, since there's a potential upside that's tremendous, that you're going to be nene in situations where you're going to be nene, then there is a gemiras das, even in a situation where it's lav biyado, where it's not under your control. So meaning, again, Rabbeinu Tam says, in a situation where there's not a tremendous upside, so then the distinction is like the Gemara Bamitzia. Is it biyado or is it not biyado? What's with the Gemara in Sanhedrin gambling? That it's not biyado, and the Gemara says, according to Rav Sheshes, it's not a smachta. That Rabbeinu Tam has to explain. No, here there's a tremendous upside. So both of them going into the game because they want to get the jackpot, they want to get the tremendous upside, then there's Gemiras Das based on the potential upside that they both go into. That's the lashon of Rav Sheshes, of Kolki Agavna Lava Smachta. And he gives an example. So too, when it comes to Shidduchim, you don't have to do a Maisa Kinyan. When it comes to Shidduchim, the Gemara has a lashon in Ksubis, Hein Advarim Aniknim Ba'amira. You can make a Kinyan just for the Mechutanim talking alone, and the Kinyan is Chal. Where's the Maisa Kinyan? Says Rabbeinu Tam. No, there's a happiness, there's a shidduch that's being created. We want them to be happy and to be settled. So everyone is Gomer Das to relinquish their money to the Chassan and Kala, and therefore there's an extra Gemiras Das because of the potential hana, because of the potential upside, just like the jackpot in the gambling. Right. You know, apparently Rabbeinu Tam hit the jackpot with his shidduchim. Yeah. What?
That Gemiras Das happens when you first
first
starting it.
Exactly right. It was always like that because of the potential upside. Yeah.
Practically speaking, though, why is the Gemiras Das any different when there's a significant sum of money on the other side, or whether there's a small amount of money on the other side? At the end of the day, you're still putting something in with the whole.
Yeah, I just use that to dramatize it. I think the fact that there's any potential gain, I think Rabbeinu Tam's lashon is hana. So any potential gain would be enough to create Gemiras Das. The point is, you have a potential upside on how much you're putting in.
According to that logic, now anybody gambling would be acceptable because there's always a hana and there's always Gemiras Das.
Again, this whole conversation is within Rav Sheshes that already told us that everyone's acceptable if you're gambling, as long as you have another job. We just wanted to understand what happened to Asmachta Lokanya. So Rashi has his approach, Rabbeinu Tam has his approach, why Asmachta is not an issue. Good? The pivotal question that you're going to want to know is, how do we paskin? Rav Sheshes Ram Barachama. That's going to be the major issue, depending on whether or not we could accept a guy who gambles and has another job.
Is the issue here whether gambling in and of itself is usur, or whether it's just usur?
Excellent question. Excellent question. So, according to Rami Bar Chama, the question is not just Pasal Edis, but it's Asr. Because if it's a Smachta Lokanya, and that's the reason why you're Pasal, so that's Gezel. Okay, it's Kain Gezel, whatever. It's in the Parsha of Gzeil. According to Rav Sheshes, it's an excellent question. It might be a major Machlokas Rishonim, and it might boil down to a Girsa in the Gemara. I don't want to spoil it, but ultimately it's going to be a Machlokes, a distinction between Sephardim and Ashkenazim, but we're not there yet. But ultimately, right now, the question is left open right now within Rav Sheshes. Right now, I would say that l'chora it's just going to be regarding Pasal Edis, and it could be even mutter. And as long as you have another job, you're both not Pasal Edis, and you're allowed to do it. As long as we're in the category of a Smachta Lokanya. So give me 10 minutes to build up to there. But that's a real pivotal question. So that's so far the way we have it. We have a Rashi and Rabbeinu Tam that have two approaches how to explain Rav Shesh's opinion that said off the bat that there is no issue of a smachta whatsoever here. Either it's because of Rashi's explanation, because it's lav biyado klal, or Rabbeinu Tam says no, that would make things worse, and therefore you have to come on to a new hesber that there's a hana over here that creates gemiras das. So how do we defend Shitas Rashi from the questions that Rabbeinu Tam just posed against him? He's not going with Rabbeinu Tam's approach. Rashi said what he said, and he meant what he said. So let's skip a little further in Tosos, and let's see the way the Ri defends Shitas Rashi. You see where in the Tosos, Al Kain Ner L'Ri? How many lines is that? Yeah, we need Abe for this. In the middle. Everyone have it? Al Kain Ner L'Ri?
It's about 20.
You see in the Gemara where it says HaChoshed?
It's like 13, 14.
Yeah, Chashuv. It's
Parallel to like 13, 14 lines up.
First words on the line are Al Kain Ner L'Ri. It's in the skinny lines. Everyone have it? Al Kain Ner L'Ri. Iker Kaperish Rashi. I really think that Rashi is right. Ai vi kashelo me'ahidezu neshech kedeperish le'el. What are you going to do with that Gemara Mametzia that Rabbeinu Tam squashed Rashi from that Gemara? Taritz Hachi. Answer like this. Shiny Hasam, the Vadai Dover Shubiyodo Mamish Legamre, Kegoinim Oiver Veloyevid, Eshalim B'mitva, the Hasam Biyodo Lasos Velo Gozim Nami, Shesover Hu Shekach Hifsid Chavero, Imlo Yashlim Tno, Kemom Yeshalim B'mitva, Bahi Vadai Gomro Makne, Veloy Choshev Asmachta. Again, what does the Gemara Mametzia say originally? The Gemara Mametzia says the first case of, I asked you to plow my field. If you respond, don't worry, go, I'll take care of it. And if I don't take care of it, I respond one of two ways. Either I'll pay you the meitav, the best crops, or the Gemara says that that's not a smachta, right? And that's what Rabbeinu Tam challenged Rashi. That's an example of something that's biyodo, and it's not a smachta. But then the Gemara says you say something else. If you say, I'll pay you $1,000 or $100,000, something that's not commensurate with the amount of the field, then you're gozim, you're using a guzma, so that's going to be a smachta. So says Ri like this, if you have something that's what? Biyodo legamre, I can plow. It's totally in my control to plow. And what? And I don't say that I'm going to pay you something mugzam, something that's exaggerated. I tell you, and if I don't, I'll pay you the meitav, the best of the crop. So that's not a smachta. If I'm magzim, if I use a guzma, I used a elfa zuze, then that will be a smachta because I just said something that demonstrated that I don't have real gemiras das. The second you say, oh, even on something that's totally in your control, you say what? Oh yeah, I'll pay you $1 million. That created that to be a smachta, even in something that's totally in your control. Okay? So now that's what the Gemara says. If it's something biyodo, mamish legamre, kegoinim over v'loy eved, eshalim b'meitva, the hossam biyodo lassos, he could plow it, v'loy gozim, and he doesn't use an exaggeration, because why? What did he say? If I don't plow it, what did I make my friend lose? I made him lose the meitav crops, the best crops. So that's exactly what I'm going to pay. I'm going to own up for what I did. That's a normal statement. That's not a smachta. In that, even though it's fully under control, he spoke seriously. So that's for sure not a lo choshev asmachta. V'omer belibo alai l'shalem vade minadin mashabiyodi lasses v'lo yasisi aval heicha de gozin. But the second he says 1,000 or 100,000, afal gavdav biyodo mamish legamre, even though it's still fully under my control. Kigonim ever v'lo efid what? Not a shalem b'meitva, a shalem al fezuzeh mikomokom kaven de gozim vade have guzma. The masna l'shalim alf zuz b'shvil karka achas for one area you're going to pay $1,000. What type of exaggeration is that? Vaday choshev asmachta. That's a smachta by something that's in your control. So what did Tosfos just do? Tosfos analyzed the Gemara and said, you do see in the Gemara that even by something that's biyado, depending on your terminology, it could sometimes be a smachta, it could sometimes not be a smachta. Okay, good. So that's the first definition of a smachta. By a davar shebiyado, it depends on how I was mechayev myself. Miu kasha. Tosfos says, but I have a problem. The hacha mashma the davar the lo ava biyado lava smachtahu. Kegoin misachim bekuvya. What do you mean? But over here, it's mashma that if it's not in your hands, what? It's not in your control. It's not a smachta, like Rashi says. The afal gav de gozim, and even though it might be what? Sometimes you go to certain poker tables. What? There's some serious money on the table. Right? $100,000, it can be mamish guzmas. You're willing to relinquish it? Yeah, you're in the zone. You're having a hot night. Yeah, you're willing to put in all the chips, and that's where everything. That's when it all goes busts. The avagav de gazim, even though sometimes he puts in a lot of money. Why is that different than the situation where what? The Gemara says you go to buy the wine, and buying the wine is what? Is also not in my control. Is lav biyado. Why? Because I don't know if they're gonna if the price is gonna be available. I'm totally on what they're gonna sell me. I told you I'll try to get your wine, but I'm totally on other people. It's not like the case of plowing that it's totally biyado. So why is it that chumra dezol shafat the Gemara says is what? Asmachta, right? Because it's lav biyado, as opposed to what? Again, the Gemara B'Metzia distinguished between the case of buying the wine, that's asmachta, and the case of plowing the field that I say, without a guzma, I say, I'll pay you the best crops. That's not a smachta. So Rabbeinu Tam brought a raya from there that what? When it's in your control, it's not a smachta. When it's not in your control, it is a smachta. Good. So now we explained in your control. It depends if you made a guzma or not. Fine. But what's the other case in the Gemara Mametzia? Buying the wine. Buying the wine, the Gemara says, is what? Is contrasted with plowing, because it's not in your control. It's totally on buying it from someone else. So something that's out of your control, says the Gemara Mametzia, is automatically what? Is automatically a smachta. So we again have a challenge to Rashi from the other side of the Gemara. The fact that the Gemara says that buying the wine is a smachta because it's out of your control, so how could Rashi say that gambling because of it's out of your control is not a smachta? So you're nachamol back to square one from that Gemara. Says Tosfos, not a problem. It's gevaldik. Tosfos says, I could defend Rashi from that too. The hosam vaday havia asmachta mishum shezeh soymei chalov mishum dahave davar shebiyado shemoitzi yayin limkor v'nira ke'asmachta k'tzas. I'm sorry, he was selling the wine to the buyers. Afal gav de loy gazam. The shema lo yirtzu acherim limkor lo. The hilkach afal gav de loy gozim kaven de la biyadu hu legamre lo gomeru makne lechavre. Aval hocha gabi mesachi bekuvya. The la biyadu hu klal afal gav de gozim bitnai schoik shelo mikomokom gomeru makne de kaven shu yodea sheim biyadu larviach v'yodea shu echad mehem yarviach Vadei lo niskaven lahas mechaber al davar sheinu el gomer makne. Listen to what Tosfos says. There are three categories. There's something that is biyodo legamre like plowing. Biyodo legamre like plowing is all dependent on whether or not you used a guzma, exaggeration, or you didn't use a guzma. If you didn't use a guzma, that's not a smachta. Then there's chumra de zol shafat, where you're going to sell wine. You don't know what's going to happen if people are going to show up to purchase the wine. So that's lav biyodo legamre. That's something that I asked you to do. It's under your control a little bit. So then Tosfos says that the Gemara portrays that what? That's a smachta no matter what. Why? Even if I don't have a guzma. Why? Because it's not in my hand. So that's automatic. And you were mechayiv yourself to do something. If you don't sell it and you don't know what's going to happen, that's lav biyadu legamre. That's a smachta even without a guzma. Even if I tell him I want to pay him a little bit, that's already a smachta. As opposed to what? Mesachik Bekubya. That Mesachik Bekubya, Rashi holds, since it's lav biyodo hu klal, even if what? He's magzim and he puts down hundreds of thousands of dollars, no matter what, since he knew that this wasn't in his control, and he was never being somech on his own ability to guarantee the win, so therefore he had smichas das, and even in a guzma, in something which is lav biyadu klal, like gambling, that would be lava smachta according to Rav Sheshes on any amount, even a large amount of guzma. So again, Tosfos just defend Rashi from all the kashas of the Gemara, because we had to explain the case of plowing, the case of purchasing the wine, as opposed to the case of gambling. If we can resolve all those Gemaras, that would answer up for Rashi. How do you deal with the contradictions? So Tosfos says the answer is the following. If it's totally in someone's control, like plowing, so then it depends what you said. Did you exaggerate or did you not exaggerate? If it's something that's totally out of your control, even if you exaggerated, it's totally luck. So if that's the case, so then even if it's an exaggerated amount, that's lava smachta. If it's something that's nishtehir, nishtehir, so it doesn't matter whether you exaggerated, that automatically is a smachta. And that's the case of the selling of the wine, that you had no idea whether or not the people would buy it. So the fact that you were mechayev yourself money, depending on how much sales you would make, no matter what happens, that was not smichas das. You did not really mean what you said, and that's a smachta lokanya, no matter how much you obligated yourself to pay. So now, according to this suggestion, Lefi Rashi, Rabbi Isai, it comes out something fascinating. Lefi Aniyas Daiti. The answer for Rav Sheshes, and we'll have to see if this is relevant la halacha, but I'll tell you right now, it is relevant la halacha, on whether or not gambling is a smachta and would be a problem of gezel within Rav Sheshes, Lefi Aniyas Daiti, would depend on all the titles of tonight's shir. What are you gambling? The following. Slot machines, according to Shitas Rashi with the defense of the Ri, should be totally mutter. Again, I'm assuming we're passing like Rav Sheshes, assume Rami Bar Chama is out, and for some reason this is not, Kolki Agavna Lava Smachta is not a Smachta. Why? So says the Ri B'Shem Rashi, because this is something that's totally out of my hands. Now, poker, I don't know. Poker has some skill.
What if you don't have skills?
No,
But
there are.
It's your kavana.
So you have some techniques. So you have some techniques. So Adi, that's the next Gemara. If you don't have skills, you should not be betting in a poker game. Then we got other issues. Fantasy football. So here, I don't know. It's skills, right? L'chora, you're picking different guys based on what they have the ability to do. So I would think that would be, even according to Rav Sheshes, potentially, but something which is mega millions, that's pashut mutter. That's mamish. No expectations to win. Mamish, no expectations to win. Yeah, exactly. So I don't care how many. And and someone wanted to ask me, is buying 5 tickets more than 1 ticket? I said, you buy 5 tickets, you still don't expect to win. I said, you don't have a chance. There's no distinction. I think Mega Millions would be, according to Rashi, would be totally potluck. You're totally gamaru makne. You gave up your money for that. But that's where it gets complicated. According to Shittas Rashi, in situations where you lav biyodo legamre, would that now fall into the category to be selling the wine? Chumra de zol shafut. So if it's chumra de zol shafut, so now it doesn't matter how much. It doesn't matter how much you put down, even if it's a little bit. The wine. Yeah.
What is the
Poker, fantasy football. Anything that has some aspect of skill, l'chora, according to Rashi, you would not be able to rely on Rav Sheshes. So, Mesach B'Kubya would mamish mean Mesach B'Kubya, the throwing of the die.
According to what you're just saying, some investment in options may be falling under the same category.
I think what classical
Binary options and things like that, like all kinds of tools, buying short.
I don't know, because they're your mamish.
Day trading, exactly.
I don't think that's in the same.
Yeah, I don't think it's.
But if you have binary, you think
No,
you have
so
skills
according
in
to
many
your
more-
logic,
What's the difference
so then
football?
all investments should be out.
No, there are.
I'm
certain-
buying a real
no,
estate
no,
project.
There are binary. There are some tools today, vehicles like binary options that you say if this something happens or not, right? And you're betting against something. You say, okay, I think that would go down. Why? Because I believe I did the research.
Right.
Still, it's to a degree, some level, especially when you're talking
But I'm
about
saying
options, it's
according.
all or nothing
But
type
I'm
of
also
thing.
I'm buying this property because I think the residential area is it's a good area. It's going to be populated. People are going to move in. The rents are going to go up.
But it's not-
That's an
But
investment.
it's not all or nothing.
But day
And
traders,
options are, in most cases, all or nothing.
What?
Options in many cases are all or nothing. Meaning it's
a real short-term game.
binary, yeah.
Long-term investment, a lot can change between now and what your end game is, like on a 10-year sort.
Right, but I don't think we make a difference between.
There's a lot more volatility.
you're actually betting against the market. You're betting it would reach
Oh,
that
but
price.
any time I'm purchasing something,
Yeah.
and I say this is what I want to buy.
Yeah.
I want to buy this thing. It's a risky thing. It's not clear what's going to happen with it. I'm buying a field in the time of the Gemara.
It's not a-
I'm buying
it's
a
not
field.
It's not a field here.
No,
I'm
but
buying
no,
an
but
option
you're
that says
no,
the
you're
field
buying
is
you're
going to
buying an
be-
entity. I think a purchase. I think over here, yeah, over here, you're not putting yourself into a hischayvus based on a questionable outcome. That's
I did.
no. I purchased an item. And in the times of the Gemara, I could purchase a field. I think the crops are going to grow, and sometimes it goes bust. That's not, as long as you're purchasing something, and you are very well aware. The Gemara has examples of buying an iska. You buy something that could go bust or could do well. You're allowed to invest in things and purchase things. Over here, a person puts in a schayvus, and now you're not sure. There's games over here. You're not sure what his mindset is. Did he actually mean to relinquish his money? He wasn't purchasing anything. He put it in his chayvus, or he said, "I'll pay you back in case I don't do what I had to do." But the Gemara says it doesn't seem like he really meant it, and he really thought that he was going to get the job done, and he never relinquished it. Second, something's on the market, and there's a going rate for this, and everyone does it, and we know for sure, guys, and it could be enforced by Dina de Malchusa Dina, that if you don't pay up for that, for paying that's tantamount to not paying for something like a house or something else. That's a kinyan. That's not going to be a smachta. It's not. It does. What I don't mean to say. This is not excluding anything that's risky. You're allowed to buy risky things. But as long as there's a situation and the nature of the market is people buy risky things and they purchase it. So that's I know that there's Gemiras Das. The problem in all of these situations is that we don't think that the guy has Gemiras Das. The second we don't think the guy has Gemiras Das, so then that's going to be a potential situation of a Smach L'Lokaya. So right now we don't know what's relevant halacha. We don't know who we paskin like, but even within the way we paskin, all we're coming out with is in Shitas Rashi is that even according to the Mekel of Rami Bar Chama, you could have this distinction between all of these different types of games that you're playing. Mr. Shem, continue next week.